This week on Intrigued Full Effect.
We always have good communication and we always stay in touch, especially since Akari's birthday was a week after Easter Sunday. So we were already in communications about, getting his birthday and everything together and what we're going to do and how we're going to, do things for that. So it's no way that she would just disappear for that.
I'm Chandrea Thomas, and welcome to episode 54. In this podcast, I talk about curious cases, disappearances, and other stuff. And today I'm talking about the disappearance and now murder of 30-year-old Danielle Moss from Washington, D.C. I was originally set to put this podcast episode out a while back when I interviewed Danielle's former boyfriend, Andre Hudson, the father of her 4-year-old son and only child. That interview was on Saturday, June the 10th. Then I received information that her body was found the very next day, June 11th. So the dynamics of me doing this episode changed, and I held on to it for a while, and I decided to focus on what I knew about Danielle as a person. Now, just to be clear, it's my understanding that Danielle disappeared in D.C. while Andre and her son were on vacation in Florida. Andre told me he wanted Danielle to join them, but she decided to not go and stayed home because she had to work. To give you some perspective on the situation, according to an NBC Dateline report, Danielle was last seen in the early morning hours of Sunday, April 9th, 2023, over the Easter holiday weekend after leaving a family gathering. It was also reported that Danielle went to work at her new job the day before her disappearance and called her parents from work, telling them that she was coming over for Easter dinner, but she never arrived. Danielle was reported missing 2 days later by her family when they confirmed that she did not show up for work after the holiday. There was also information circulating that Danielle was last seen sometime between 11 a.m. and noon on Easter at a store about 1 block away from her home at the 2300 block of Q Street in D.C. But that information hasn't been fully confirmed because family members say investigators can't find any video or pictures to prove she was in the area on that day. The report also says that those close to Danielle believe that she was involved with people who didn't have her best interest in mind. And it was also mentioned that she was involved with a new guy who was questioned by police, but police have not confirmed if that man was a person of interest. Now to the day that Danielle was found. According to the Charles County Sheriff's Office, on June 9th at around 6:40 p.m., police were called to Holly Spring Drive in Waldorf, Maryland, after a passerby walking near power lines found a partially covered body. Detectives went to the scene, and the body was transported to the medical examiner in Baltimore for an autopsy, and that's where they determined that the body was Danielle and ruled her death as a homicide. At this point, they have not released a cause of death, and get this, Waldorf is less than an hour away from D.C. In this episode, I'm sharing my interview with Andre, along with some private home videos and pictures of Danielle that he sent to me. I also contacted the lead detective at the Charles County Sheriff's Office to get an update on the case. This is what happened. How did you find out that Danielle was missing?
It's crazy because it was more so intuition. It was just something wasn't sitting right. My son and I, we had took a trip to Orlando. Danny couldn't come. She started a new job, so she stayed in D.C. And it was like, I guess, one day it went past, and the second day it went past. Easter Sunday, we didn't speak, and then that Monday, I didn't speak, and then it was weird because I didn't get no texts, I didn't get no calls. Like I said, we're out of town. I'm sending you pictures. You're going to respond to something. So I was just, call around to call her stepmother, call her friends. Nobody's talked to her, and I'm okay. Like, just called her family. I'm just like, nobody else has talked to her. That's weird. That's when I spoke to her stepmother and told her I'm in Orlando, so maybe she want to contact DCPD and see if anybody's been picked up or locked up or whatever the case may be. Just to see like where she's at.
So tell me about the last time you saw her. What was your conversation like, or what was her mood? Where was she at with everything at that time?
Last time I saw her, I think we met at her stepmother's house. He took Akari over there, chill with her stepmother, her father. They always want to see him. She was over there. I think she had just got home from work, and we just was over there, just family time, just talking, letting the kid play. I think he had some new toys or something. And the last time I spoke with her was that Saturday before Easter. Mm-hmm. So she was at work, and we were supposed to meet up so she could have seen the car, but she had to work, and the time didn't level out for us to be able to meet up.
Let me ask you this, because this is the elephant in the room. People always assume the person that's close to the person who's disappeared is involved and all that kind of stuff. So you have a child with Danielle, right? I know police have had conversations with you. I mean, is everything just to make sure you've been cleared of all this stuff so there's no issue with you? You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I haven't had any. I've had conversations, but they haven't reached out to me. It was more so me reaching out to them to figure out what's going on, and a couple people call me with some information, just me getting in contact with the detective however I can, just to let them know, hey, I heard this, somebody's telling me this bit of information, or just things like that. But actually they haven't reached out to me. They haven't questioned me. They haven't told me to come down, do anything.
Wow. So you actually initiated the contact to give them information about everything.
Yeah, because I had when I got back in town that Wednesday, I made some flyers. Me and her cousin had went out. A couple of her friends that went out. We just had some flyers around DC, around any area that she's supposed to have been seen or been around, and so my contact number was on the flyer. So people would call me with bits of information or whatever they heard. I even had information from the other person's side call me and just tell me things. It's just
I think we need to just clarify some stuff too. So you were not in a relationship with her. You were in a totally separate relationship, and she had her own separate situation going on. So you guys were not together at this time, right?
No, we weren't together. We were together for about 14 years, and we decided to take some space about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years almost, something like that. So, no, we weren't in a relationship.
Andre says when contact with Danielle suddenly stopped, it quickly sparked an alarm with Danielle's loved ones. He also says that she was a loving mother who had contact with him and their child on a daily basis, adding that they were close with a good co-parenting relationship.
So, me and Danielle, regardless of our relationship status, we're still close. I mean, we speak every day.
I'm thinking, from your perspective, it has to be very, very difficult for you because you have been with her for 13, 14 years. So what has this been like for you, this whole experience? I mean,
honestly, it's terrible. I don't even know the word to use for it, but excuse my language, just fucked up. Honestly, I don't even know how else to describe it.
Is there anything that you think you would have done differently knowing what you know now?
No, I've never been in a situation like this, not a person missing, but the mother of my child. Anything I could have done differently to prevent it, made sure she got on that plane with me to Orlando.
Do you think about that a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Here's some sound from one of the videos that Andre sent me.
Hey, Corey, you ready? Say hi, Daddy. You ready to go? Say hi, Daddy.
Got my son, just trying to take it day by day, best way I can.
So, as far as what was her state of mind? Was she, just kind of her regular self? Had anything changed in her life? Was she in a separate relationship, or she was dating someone else at that time? What was going on with her?
I'm not sure. I just, I've never, met the other person. I just only. What people have told me, they just said it wasn't healthy. It was not a healthy relationship. Just, keep my son away. These are from her people. I've never met the guy. I can't comment or say anything about this man's character other than what, her close friends or her family has told me. And basically it was it's not healthy. It's keep your son away. And she doesn't even need to be involved in that. So Danielle's been through a lot, last couple of years. She lost her mother and her grandmother, her aunt in the same week due to COVID. So this is all within 7 days. She lost, the three, one of the three top people in her life. So, it's a lot on a person. So, she was doing good. She was getting back to her normal self. It just took a toll on her. She was trying to get back to her normal self, get back in her routine of things. And I think, seeing the car and, working again, doing things, family oriented, just helped her mental. Like I said, it was another situation. Something else was into the picture with kind of, I don't know what, direction it pushed her in. But, some things were just healthy for her and other things wasn't.
And so you guys were sharing custody of your son, or you guys were like 50-50, or he's with you most of the time, or?
He's with me. Just because he's with me, that didn't stop anything. Danielle would come over all the time.
Has anyone ever given you any theories about what may have happened or could have happened or any of that? Or you just kind of was just 100% like, we just don't know?
I have an idea. Detectives, pretty much everybody has an idea of what happened.
Let me ask you this. So tell me about Danielle's personality. What is she like as a person? What is her favorite thing to do? I imagine hanging with her kid. But tell me about what she's like, because people see the pictures, but they don't know the full picture and scope of a person. And so I wanted to make sure that we kind of make sure people understood, what she's like.
Danielle is, I'll say, fun, outgoing, friendly, loving. She loves hard, very family oriented. I think she's OCD. She just loves to clean all the time. Yeah, basically that's pretty much Danielle in a nutshell. She loves her family. She loves her kid. She likes to have fun. Who doesn't? She's just all around good person.
Is there anything that you want people to take away from the story that you want people to know or to get out there for sure, to clarify anything like that?
Only thing I could say, if regarding what's going on in my life, you see something, say something, or if you hear anything, act on it, before things go left.
I reached out to the Charles County Sheriff's Office to get an update on the case, and I spoke to Detective A. Worley, who's leading the investigation. She says that Andre is absolutely not a person of interest in the case and that they're looking into other people. The detective also says they can't confirm exactly where Danielle was last seen other than to say that she was in her resident county, but they are still following up on leads. At this point, there's no reward in the case.
If anybody knows anything about Danielle, I would, all I can ask them is to, reach out to the detectives. Yeah, it's kind of hard doing this podcast, these interviews.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing that I want to everybody take from this is that, she's a mother. She's, a daughter. She's a friend. She has people who love her. People care about her. This is not just a person who was just sitting on the side of the road waiting for their life to end. This is a person who's looking forward to everything, as far as, her success. She's 30 years old. Our son graduated and first dates, all that stuff. She was looking forward to all those things in her home. Just unfortunate that this is going on right now, and she didn't deserve that. Is
there anything else that you want to add, or that you would like to say to people who've helped you through this process? Especially just the community wise and things like that.
To all the family and friends, anybody else that's that I've never heard of that reached out with any anonymous tips. Told any bit of information to try to help put us in the right direction. Thank you for that. It's much appreciated. We just, try to take it day by day, just, figure out what's going on.
When it comes to my final thoughts about this case, the first thing that comes to mind is that someone stopped Danielle from making it back home on that Easter morning. Because remember, she was supposed to meet up with her family later that night for Easter dinner. Andre says that Danielle was a very loving and attentive mother and that she would never abandon her son or family and would never miss the birthday of her only child. Andre also says he feels constant sadness, wishing he could have convinced Danielle to go with him on that trip to Florida. As for new theories or tips and things like that, investigators are being very tight-lipped about what they know. At this point, investigators say the missing persons case turned murder investigation is still ongoing. If you have any information in this case, call Detective A. Worley at 301-609-6518. You can also remain anonymous by calling Crime Solvers at 866-411-TIPS. I'll keep an eye on this case and I'll let you know what happens next. If you have a case that you want me to check out, just visit the Intrigued Full Effect website or email me at intriguedfulleffect@hotmail.com. Until next time, be safe and stay true. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the Intrigued Full Effect, Curious Cases, Disappearances, and Other Stuff podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the host. The primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. The host of this podcast assumes no liability or responsibility for any activities in connection with opinions shared in the podcast. The podcast and blog associated with it shall not be used in any legal capacity or as a basis for expert testimony. Any copyright material in the podcast is approved by the owner or is part of the public domain. Music by Pond 5.